All right.
Friday.
Shant, how are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Welcome to Bourbon MBS. Now, look, everyone that's watching, this is a little unusual. We have a third face. This is Richard, our VP of Marketing, and he wanted to kick off the conversation with a quick question. Now, before you ask your question, Richard, we always start this the same way, so let's keep it going. Shant, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a little Johnny Walker Blue Label today, just because you guys are special, so I'm drinking something special.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm drinking my favorite Sazerac Rye. It's truly my favorite drink out there. So special guest, special drink.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Thanks,
Let's
man.
go. And then Richard, go for it.
Cheers,
Well,
guys.
Shant, cheers.
Cheers.
This is probably going to be the only question related to the mortgage industry, but I'll throw it out there. Did you ever think that, being a loan officer was going to be such a sexy job?
Definitely not. It's funny. I got into this business. I graduated college in 2002. I thought I was going to get into like some sort of like IT field, right? And I was didn't know what I was going to be doing. Somehow, I ended up working for some first job, property management company. Hated it, and decided I came up with this genius idea that I wanted to be an attorney. I started applying to law schools, right? And while I was studying, I was at the gym. I ran into a buddy of mine from college that I knew pretty well. He was in the mortgage business. He told me about it. Sounded good. I needed to make some money while I was waiting to go to law school, or while I was in law school. It was 2002, so it was like back in the day of like, crazy mortgages and crazy times, right? So, I interviewed with the company he was working for. I actually didn't get the job at first, funny enough, because like I had no experience. And then they called me back and hired me. And it was, it was a call center model. It was calling LendingTree leads and lowermybills.com and that kind of stuff. And it was actually the best thing I ever learned to do. But anyways, and then it evolved into this. Funny enough, 2008 happened, and it definitely wasn't sexy at all. The whole business literally overnight. So like I was unemployed in a business that nobody was interested in. And it was wild, man. It was like, then back.
Were you married and had kids at that time or no? In 2008, was there
no kids
married?
At the time. I was
no kids. Okay.
Yeah, no kids at the time. And, honestly, I was just, all my friends were doing like software sales. They were working at places like Oracle and EMC, or, it was probably not even software at that point. It was like hardware, they were selling like servers.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody was,
discs being sent to people.
Yeah, it was like, back then it was like, Oracle, EMC, Cisco, like, all that stuff. It was like, and everybody's doing that. And, I was getting kind of pushed into that world, like get out of the mortgage business, all that kind of stuff. Cause it looked like it was bad, and I really loved what I did. And I felt like I could still do it. And I still had some friends that were in it that were like, it's not as bad as everybody's saying. If you can work with realtors, establish a little niche in your community, like you can do well, you can have fun. It's a great business. And so I decided to stay in it, opened up a tiny little branch. I convinced a company out of New Jersey to let me open up their first office in Massachusetts with a friend. We did it. And, we were grinding, we were like hustling big time. And still, I didn't think it was going to be sexy. I thought it was going to be, just something that like, would be a living. And I figured I'd give it a year or two. And if it didn't work out, I was still young enough to where I'd make a career change. And then the thing, a year and a half in, I knew that it was like the right move. And then it just really took off. And we went from, that was, at this point, that was 12 years ago. And we were doing literally zero business. I think that first year I did like 8 or 10 million the hard way. And then here we are, so it's been, but I definitely, to answer your question, no, I did not think it was like this wild career that I was signing up for. I didn't even know what a loan officer was. Like, I wasn't sure if I was like going to get a badge or like, what was going on. It's cool.
I'm a loan officer. And you're arrested. Go alone with me.
Oh, here we are, man. It's, what, but I'll tell you, it's been a super rewarding career. I've met some really amazing people, at the places I've worked and all across the industry. That's how I met you guys. It's like, so it's been awesome. Like I'm completely fulfilled in terms of like, just like I've been lucky. And over the last few years, I've gotten to kind of know some people outside of like the circle. Like I'm usually like tunnel vision, laser focused in terms of what I'm doing. So like for a while, it wasn't important to me to meet people in the industry or at other companies or anything. And I've started to go to some events and just kind of get to know some of the players. And it's been really cool. There's a lot of really smart people in this business. And I think that as the business is evolving, it's getting really interesting in terms of like some of the tech plays that are happening. And like, there's
Yeah.
like, it's changed a lot even in 12 years.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Richard, awesome question. Now watch this, Richard. Watch how we're going to flip this around and make this non-mortgage related completely.
All right, cool. Let's hear
Number
it.
one question that we have for you from the team. All right. I went to the team and I said, guys, I need your help. Talking to Shant today, and I need your help. And the first question I got once I told him what kind of year you're having, Lindsay, one of our favorite customer success managers, she's amazing. She asked the first question, and I'd like you to answer, please, honestly.
Okay.
Will you adopt her, please?
What's that? Adopt her?
She said, ask him if he'll adopt me.
Well, I need to know more about her first. You can't just take somebody.
Perfect. We'll set that up.
I got to send her some questions. I have 3 daughters, man. I got an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
You'll have a 4th.
So like, I'm surrounded by a lot of females. I'm very blessed, but like, if we're going to take somebody new into the family at this point, we're doing surveys.
We're doing a background check. We need a DNA test, a 23andMe. We need the whole thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, ready? Hold on a sec. So for everyone listening, the way you pronounce Shant's name is Shant.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
Sean.
Nailed it. No.
Okay, but
The
that's
first
not
day
what
of
we
school,
thought.
My whole life, I was always Shant every day from the time I was in kindergarten to finishing college. I was always Shant. So but it's Shant.
It's Shant.
I'm 100% Armenian, born here in the U.S., but my family immigrated here in the 70s, and it's a pretty common Armenian name, actually.
Shant. But here's the interesting part. We thought it was Shant. So our team, who's asking wonderful questions.
I can't wait to hear these jokes.
This question is, everyone has been cracking up. Look at Richard. Richard already knows that what's coming. Okay. So let me just find the right question so I ask it properly. Have you ever considered purchasing a shanty somewhere in the country and calling it Shant's Shanty?
You know what? So funny enough, I have not actually considered it, but I was in Nantucket on a quick little. We took a long weekend, me and my wife, 2 weeks ago, and it was our 10-year anniversary, and there was a store. It was a shanty, and I got a great picture with a sign. I got right sign right above my head. So every time I see a shanty somewhere, and I live in Cape Cod in the summertime, so there's a lot of shanties around here. So a lot of lobster shanties. So so
there you go.
If we keep having some success, maybe I will buy one in the future.
And call it Shant's Shanty.
Yeah.
But then you have to tell people when they come in, they're like, oh, we love the name. You're like, but it's really Shant. Okay.
Yeah,
Just to get it right. Just to get it right. Now, listen, it's what's interesting is we went back and forth. And first of all, please send us a picture of that so we can put it right in here. So
I got it, man. I'll send it to you. I can text it to you as soon as we get off the phone.
Perfect. So here's a great, this one is, I love this question. This is actually a really great question. What is the best meal you've ever had? It's a good question.
Best meal I've ever had.
Where does your mind go instantly? You're like, I can almost taste it.
Oh, wow. I would say, like I'm saying, I'm 100% Armenian, born and raised. To me, it always goes back to like that good old school, like Armenian, like ethnic cooking, like, my mom, my grandmother, my aunts.
What would they make?
It was just like, all the meats that have the spices, the rice pilaf, and there's all the side dishes with like the yalancha and like just like all the stuff. So it's like
you're making Richard hungry.
Yeah, man. So like it's all like, so to me it's like I get fired up for when the family gets together and everybody kind of makes their dish. Like one of my aunts makes a crazy tabbouleh. So it's like to me it's not just like one thing, it's just like the whole thing all together. But to me, I'm going old school home cooking. And I'm fortunate because I was born and raised in Watertown, Massachusetts, which is like, we're all like, it's like on the East Coast, Watertown's like the where a lot of the Armenian population is. On the West Coast, it's Glendale. And but in my hometown, there's like 4 Armenian bakeries, and they all crush it. They all have great food, and so it's not like and they've got like people in the back just like making the same recipes that they were making 50, 60, 70 years ago. So it's like it's pretty cool. So I always defer to that.
It's good. That's a good answer. Let me ask you a question. Going back to that, do you have a big family?
Relatively, yeah. Absolutely, yeah, on both sides.
dinner, right? So I was born in Kiev, Ukraine,
Yeah.
and the way Ukrainians and Russians do it, any meal is like 5 courses, right?
Oh yeah.
And it never stops. There's not an inch of open room to put anything down on the table. Is that similar?
Very similar. Yeah. I think, definitely in our culture, like, food is a way to kind of show love and like,
Yes.
so it's just, yeah, absolutely. A lot of food. I'm a bigger guy, and it's not because like I have these great genetics. I think it's because I was stuffed my whole life. Like, my grandmother, I think, thought we were starving 24 hours a day. Like even like right after a meal, you want food, it's
You're like, I just ate.
yeah, just like I mean, I'm talking. I remember like being like a 10-year-old, like getting off the school bus and like her having a sandwich ready for me. Like you must be hungry. It's like no, I just yeah. But anyways, yeah. So no, it's
I love it.
definitely but yeah,
Similar
food,
cultures.
celebrations and all that kind of stuff. It's part of the culture for sure.
Very similar culture. So basically, it's like no matter what, you're always hungry. You look hungry. Are you hungry?
Yeah,
Have you eaten?
yeah.
Let's eat. Richard, do you have similar experience?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Iranian families, my God.
I mean, it's not even just like eat. It's like they're putting it in your mouth. Like it's in your face. Like it's not like here, like go help yourself. It's like here, try this. It's like right on you. So
What's the best dessert? What's the best dessert, homemade dessert that your mom or grandma or somebody made?
Oh, easy. So my grandmother used to make it, and that was like her thing. And then my mom's kind of taken it over. It's called radev. It's like a cheese. I don't know how to describe it. It's cheese with like a crust on it. It's awesome. It comes out warm, and they put like sugar on it. Like a sugar syrup. And any like Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, like any big holidays, like it's like kind of what we finish the night off with.
That's awesome. Now, is that something? Have you ever seen that in like a restaurant? Have you ever seen it served outside?
I mean,
of
not at a restaurant, but like I said, I happen to live in a town where like you can go to the bakery and get it if you want. And there's a couple bakeries that do a great job with it. But no, but I'm preferential to to my families. But I mean, they all like I've gone to a couple like bazaars where they have it, like the church will do something and we'll go like a couple times a year, although we missed all that stuff this year because the virus and all the big gatherings got got put on hold, so we didn't get to go to some of those things, so I missed out on a lot of good eating this summer because of some of that stuff.
Because then the whole family hasn't gotten together for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, do you cook at home, like Armenian meals or no?
Not me so much. I'm a really good eater on the cooking side. I was working on that. When the whole coronavirus thing first went down, I was like trying to teach myself how to cook, and I was having some fun with it on like social media and stuff. But I work the grill pretty good, and I make a mean omelet. But those are my like two skills from a food side.
That's your go-to. Now let me ask you this, and I think I may know the answer. This is completely opposite. And one of our team members asked me to ask this too. They said, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would be your career? Like if this wasn't it, what would it be?
Got it. I would be a high school football coach and a gym teacher. That was like, to me, like, it's funny. Like, it's funny. I've been asked that question before, and I always answer the same way. Like, to me, like I remember growing up as a kid, being in, middle school, high school, all that kind of stuff. And some of the most influential people in my life at the time were like, my teachers and my coaches. And I thought that was the coolest job. Like, I would have done some form of coaching, to be honest with you. Like I thought it was, I think you can make a really big impact in people's lives, like more, I think, than sometimes we realize. Like if you talk to like a lot of people that played sports in their lives, even I'm not talking like college athletes or even professional athletes, I'm talking like high school athletes, and like some of the most influential people, like they really give them direction and taught them how to work and like character and all that kind of stuff were, some of their coaches. And, so I've been blessed in the sense that like, I say gym teacher because like, I feel like, if you're going to coach, like a lot of the coaches that I had in hii school were all teachers. I don't know if I'd be really interested in teaching any other topic. So wearing like, workout clothes all day to school seems like a pretty good job. And then but being able to coach was something I probably would have done. Other than that, if I ended up in the professional world, I probably, there was something like I loved, and I still like reading about like Wall Street and like that whole environment. So like if I ever went to New York and kind of worked on the street, I think I could have done that and had a lot of fun
Yeah.
with it. But like, you know, I'm here. So, and I'm having fun with it. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing.
No, that's fantastic. And so here's the thing: being a coach in high school or a teacher in high school, gym teacher, that's something you could do. I mean, like that doesn't
I
it
may,
doesn't prevent you
you know,
from
we'll
doing it
see.
today.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's like, you know, like the coaching thing, like, you know, I was, you know, you can absolutely do that stuff, right? Like it's,
Yeah.
you know, you have an impact. Like I think that, you know, the kids, you know, especially like when they're like younger, they're so moldable and like they're sponges for information. And, you know, I also think that like into, you know, even now I have my own kids and seeing it, like, you know, it's very easy to get sucked into the laptops and the iPads and the phones and all that kind of stuff. But like getting outside and playing and like, yeah, I think there's something really cool about sports, whether it's individual or team. But like, you know, you're playing, you know, those people that, you know, coach and mentor and all that kind of stuff, they do that and they get paid like nothing, right? Like it's like, so, but like they're making massive impacts and there's a lot of people that like, and there's people that have had a lot of success with it and like done it for a really long time. It's because, you know, what keeps them going every single year is, you know, they get new kids every year with new goals, new aspirations, new things they need to work on. So I think it's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And I may do it, you know, like it's, as my kids get older, like I'd love the opportunity to kind of coach them. I coached my daughter,
How old are your kids? What's the age?
my oldest is 8. My middle daughter is 5 and the youngest is 2. And I coached my the oldest one in basketball last year. And it was like, you know, first kind of, it was like very much like very basic and just getting started. And it was a blast. I had so much fun. And, you know, when I was a kid, my dad, you know, we used to play soccer in one of the teams that he coached in. And for years, from the time I was like 8 years old to, you know, high school. And it was just like
I played soccer with a bunch of Armenians, a
yeah,
bunch.
yeah. So it's fun. It was like, it was, and so it's, you know, I'd love to be involved like that. It's, you know, I look back on it, it's like really great memories and a lot of fun stuff.
Would you ever do something like, look, you've been blessed with having a successful career. Would you ever build like a community sports center and create something for the community, not just a team that you're helping, but like really put it into back to the community?
I would love to, you know, I think, you know, like, I think that there's, I think there's something really, really important about supporting the communities that have supported you, you know, all the way throughout. And, you know, so absolutely, like, you know, we try to give back to, you know, giving back is something that's super important to me personally, and as well as all the people that I work with in my team. You know, so we've tried to, we're always all about like trying to, you know, it's very easy to lead with like, no, it's not very easy. But like one of the things is always just like raising money, like, and raising awareness and raising money. It's hard. It actually takes a lot of work, but like, that's like somewhere easy to go to in terms of like, just like, hey, let's raise money. Let's donate, or let's round up people. Let's make awareness. But, you know, doing something like that. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, you know, I think that's kind of like a progression, right? Like, and it's hopefully I'm in a position one day where I can like really make an impact like that and do something like that. And I'd love to be able to do it like at home base, like right in the communities that I kind of grew up in. Cause like, you know, that was like massively impactful for me looking back on my life as a kid. Like, you know, I was always surrounded by people that like were willing to help us and do stuff for the kids and keep us involved in communities, whether it was some of the local Armenian communities that I was in as a kid, boys and girls clubs, just like, you know, camps and programs and sports and all that kind of stuff. There's always something for us to do because, you know, both my parents were working. They're working really hard, you know, and like, you know, we were, you know, very fortunate to be kind of like, that's how like some of my closest friends are people that all parts of my life are people that I met through all those type of events, and I still stay in touch with them today. And, you know, so I got put in a really good environment and also like very mixed. Like I've met so many different kinds of people from so many different places, all through activities like that.
And do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers. I have
exact opposite of you. You have three girls, and your parents had 3 boys.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's you know, it's.
Do they have kids?
Yeah. Well, so one of my brothers is only 25, turned 26. So like he doesn't have any kids yet.
He doesn't have any kids.
My other brother has 3 kids of his own. So
also girls.
He has 2 girls and a boy. So
speaking of girls, here's mine.
Oh, there you go. What's your name?
It's Riella.
Very nice. You're beautiful.
Riella.
Nice to meet you.
Say nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What are you doing, baby? What you come over here for? Say hi. Okay, well, we're recording a show. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
They often make an appearance.
You know, it's they're not here right now, but they would be up in my grill and your grill if they were here.
Hey, we'd love it. We had So we had a cool interview. We were drinking and having this kind of conversation with Megan Bennett, and her son came in and actually played the piano for everyone right on, and we posted that. That was really cool. And then we had another one with I can't remember who it was, but his son came in and so yeah, well, with Josh Friend, his daughter sat through the entire conversation, totally making fun of him. It was fun. It was so funny. So definitely, if your kids were around, we would have welcomed them in.
They would not be shy.
And so you're in Boston.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep, right outside
That's
Boston.
home.
I mean, Boston's home base for me. It's funny. I grew up in a town called Watertown. I went to college in a town called Waltham right next door, and I live in a town called Belmont now. I've gone about 1 mile each way in total over the course of my life.
Really?
And it's right outside Boston. So Boston's where I identify home. It's a great city. Really fortunate to be here. It's a cool place.
Are you a fan of the Patriots by any chance?
Yeah, massive. I don't know. I love it. It's a obsession for a while. It's funny how things change. It changes when you have kids, but because they got all their sports and their activities. But for sure, it was. I've been to a bunch of Super Bowls. We've seen, and been to a lot of really cool games, and got some really great memories. So it's been.
How do you feel that Tom is gone? Honest feeling.
Honest feeling. I was bummed at first. It was because we were lucky. Who has a guy like that for 20 something years and had all that kind of success? But I will say it's and now I kind of got two teams I root for. I will say honestly, I'm if the Bucks are playing, I'm 100% rooting for them. I think he's the man. However, I also think it's fun. We got a new thing going on. It's fresh. It's new. It's exciting. It's a new challenge. It's kind of it's weird not being the guaranteed favorite to win every single time. But
right.
I love Cam Newton. Belichick's still here, and the Crafts are still around. So I don't know. It's fun. I think it's different, but it
was going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think it was time. It was time. Joe Montana didn't finish out as a 49er. Brett Favre didn't finish out as a Packer.
That's true.
So and there's a million different examples, but it's very rare. I mean, LeBron James. I mean, look at him. The guy's played. Michael Jordan played for the Washington. People forget. That's Michael Jordan. So
yeah, he wishes everyone would forget that part.
Yeah, I kind of wish he went somewhere. I kind of wish he went somewhere not Tampa. I kind of wish he went to a real one of the old school
the Baltimore Ravens. I'm just saying. I don't know.
That would have been cool. But that seemed like you guys are pretty set at quarterback for a while.
Actually, you're right. Yeah. We don't need.
I think you're good. Yeah. So I don't know.
Although that game with Patrick, he kind of showed us that we're not quite at that level yet.
It's just one game.
It's just one game. But how about Patrick Mahomes? Let's just talk about this kid for just a minute. Is this guy the greatest?
He's changing the game. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say the greatest yet because he may be. It's so hard in that sport to stay healthy, right? Part of being great is be longevity and consistency, right? So if he can stay healthy, it's the people that go down as the best of all time are all the people that stay healthy too. So as long as he can stay healthy, I think he's ridiculous. I mean,
he's
things
ridiculous.
He can do and he's changing the game. He's literally changing the game.
He's a joy to watch because you can truly see. I'm a big fan of energy and just watching people have fun. I have a tattoo on my body that says always doing what I love, right?
Yeah.
And you watch him, it's infectious. He's having a blast. He's not working. He's just out having a good time with his boys.
Yeah, the crazy part is one, I didn't even know who he was when he played in college. I don't remember him playing in college. So how did that happen? And then two, how did there's a bunch of people drafted in front of him. How did that happen? It's I literally can't tell you where he even played college football.
I have no clue.
Yeah. And it's funny. You would think somebody like that with that kind of talent, would be coming out and everybody would be talking about him for years. It's kind of like LeBron when he was in high school, but this guy came out of nowhere and it's just took the game over.
Yeah, it's like they manufactured him in a lab.
Yeah.
And they put him on the field and look what happened. I mean, honestly, this is wild.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It's really cool. Now I don't know football, the details this much. Will there be a Tampa Bay Kansas City game? Do they play each other?
I have no idea. I'm hoping the Patriots. I know the Patriots and the Bucks play next year. I think it'd be cool if the Patriots and the Bucks played in the Super Bowl this year. That'd be like a dream scenario for me.
Oh, you would be you would be
yeah.
on another.
But
it would be
I don't know.
sponsored by you. Like, listen, this is it.
Yeah, I actually do think the Bucks and KC do play this year, though. I really do.
Do
I
they?
think because I know that. Yeah, I think it.
We're gonna validate that when the video comes out. We're gonna validate that, and we're gonna post yes or no.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So listen. As far as you know, with coaching and everything that you talked about, did you play a competitive sport? I mean, what was your thing?
Yeah, so I played football throughout as a kid. I mean, I played everything in like, middle school and high school, like growing up, and then I decided to play football in college. And it was great. I was a small Division II school right here in Massachusetts, but made some really great friends. I was a defensive end. So D2 is not like D1 where like everybody's gigantic and like, but it was fun. The cool part about it was
tall.
like
you're like 6'1",
6'2", yeah.
Oh,
so it's the cool part about that, is that like everybody that plays like that level, D2, D3, like even like 1AA for the most part, like they're playing because like they love the game, and it's like important to them. And I know we talked about this already, but like team sports is like, I think so important, in terms of just like
family.
Yeah. Like, and you learn so many, like you learn how to work hard, you learn how to prepare, you learn how to win, you learn how to lose, there's just like so much stuff. So like, you learn how to persevere and like, so like, I think some of the success, I know some of the success that I've had in my personal life or professional life has been because like, some of the lessons I learned as a kid. So I think it's really important for like, just people to do stuff, obviously, studying and all that kind of stuff is like really, really important. But I think, some of the most successful people I've met, weren't the smartest students, right? They were just like, people that learn how to figure out life and like you how to hustle and just like have ups, have downs and all that kind of stuff. So, I for me, that's, I learned that from sports and like, as a kid. And when I say kid, as a kid and like even in college. So yeah, I loved it. Something I was super passionate about. Still to this day, I'm passionate about it. I wish I was taller. I wish I was stronger. I wish I was faster and a better athlete. But
you wish you were playing for the New England Patriots.
But here I am. So it worked out. I think I got a pretty good career. You can be a loan officer. You can be a loan officer for a lot longer than you can be a professional football player for. That's for sure. Unless you're Tom Brady.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact, everyone. That is not an opinion. That's a fact right there. Now, look, it's funny that you bring this up about sports because this is fascinating. And I don't know if we've ever shared this in a public setting, but here, we build a company, and it's a good thing Richard is here because he can validate this. We look at business as a professional sport. Like our business is a professional sports franchise. And can I tell you something? Business is the biggest sport in the world. There's no bigger. There's no more competition. There's no more people that want to take your role, want to take your job, want to take your position. It's the most competitive with more money supporting it than anything else in the world. And so when we build a business, we look at it like a professional sport and we're saying, hey, only the best, right? Don't come here and try to, be a bench warmer and think you're going to start the game. You got to really be a starter to play here. And we actually always look for talent where if they've had some professional sports experience in their past life, we know they're going to dedicate themselves to what they're doing because they've been there, right? If you've gone through the process of playing any kind of level, even college ball, that means you've done your homework, you've worked on your own, you've gone to practice, you've worked on your own again, you've done your home. So you know what it takes to dedicate yourself to two things. That is business, right? Or I'm sorry, your sport and your school. And then here it's dedicating yourself to your business and your family. And those are two things. And when you can find someone like that, and can bring him into your camp, into your team, I think there's nothing short of brilliance that can happen. Do you look for that? Do you look for people that are like, hey, you have a sports background or tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. So I don't know if necessarily like a sports background, definitely, I look for people. So, I've said it numerous times and I believe it wholeheartedly, like, like I said, we were talking about the reason I'm here is I've had some success in the mortgage business, right? Otherwise we wouldn't know each other. Right. And so, but I think the reason that I've had some success is I didn't do this by myself. Like I did this with my team. Right. And like, that's how we've been able to accomplish what we're able to accomplish. We're much stronger as a team than any individual. Right. So, so like, I look for people that absolutely are comfortable working on a team, that understand teamwork, that understand their roles, that understand everybody's got like a certain important function in that as long as everybody's kind of working in unison, then the whole thing goes around, right? And like that's what makes teams works when like everybody understands their roles and understands the vision of where they're going and what they're looking to accomplish and being accountable to each other and having progress and systems and processes. That's what moves things forward. And hiring talent is massively impactful. Like the smarter, and I look for character, smarts, work ethic, all those things which are important in team sports, right? So what destroys a team is like egos and like people kind of going off and doing all that stuff, and that's when you see teams kind of fall apart. But yeah, there's no way I would be here today without the amazing people on my team. And frankly, there's no way I'd rather have it. I love winning as a team. That's actually one of our core values is win as a team. We have 4 core values, and that's one of them. And it's probably the one that I enjoy the most. Like and I think there's a lot of really successful loan officers out there that are just a one person, solo practitioner doing great. And, that's awesome. And that's not a knock on that at all, because like, that's what works for them. And you got to be true to yourself, and you got to be authentic, and that's what so if like, that's good for you, that's awesome. But for me, it was all about like, kind of leveraging people together and winning as a team. And so that's why we created what we did, because it allowed me to have the kind of fulfillment and them to have the kind of fulfillment. So I look for a very particular type of person but one of the first things we talk about when we bring them in is like what our goals are, where we're going, what we want to do, and then the fact that it is a team environment, not an individual sport. And so yeah, and that's what any successful company, right? Like and that's why they bring in all these companies that that specialize in like building that type of culture. Like everybody just started out as one, right? Like these massive companies, like there's always a start, and there's usually 1 or 2 or 3 employees. You guys did, right? And then you build it up. And I think the ones that turn into like these massive powerhouses understand like what it takes to have a winning culture.
Well, what's interesting is when you hear somebody say, like you hear people go, he's a self-made man. That's a false statement. There's no such thing as a self-made man. Not possible.
Yeah.
Everyone has a team. Everyone has a support system. And I love that you look at it that way. Let me throw a curveball at you. This is we have some questions that are staples. We must ask these questions because it's very important for us to get inside your soul. Number 1, gummy bears, sour or regular? What do you choose?
Sour. I love sour.
There we go. We're on.
I'm obsessed with Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, me and you both. So when you go to the movies, 100%, that's what you get, right?
I mean, every once in a while I'll throw some Swedish fish in there, but my go-to is Sour Patch Kids. Definitely.
Yeah, if you had to choose, it's that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Mine just ran in, and I guarantee you, he thinks the same thing as I. Come here, I gotta pick you up. I gotta ask you. As I gummies, sour or regular? Sour Patch Kids.
Smart man. Smart man. Hi. Good choice, buddy. What's up, man?
Okay, ready? This is another staple. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
No, not for me. My wife loves it. She orders the Hawaiian Pizza every time. Not for me, man.
Not for you, but your wife loves it.
Yeah. So we order the Hawaiian every once in a while, but not my thing. I could do throw some meat on there, throw some veggies on there, throw anything on there, but pineapple, I'm all set.
Okay, so I think you just swung us back to the 50-50, but we're gonna check it out at the end of the year. We're gonna do a count. Another question. This is a fun one. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oof. I think I mean I would my immediate response is no, but now that I'm like analyzing it, it kind of is. It's bread surrounding some meat. So yeah, just a different kind of bread. So I mean,
vertical sandwich, right?
Yeah, it's a sandwich, but not kind of what I would have in my mind thought it was a sandwich before.
Yeah, I listen, when that question, somebody posed that question for us to ask, I'm like, that is a really good question. I answered like you. I'm like, I think it is, because it's between 2 pieces of bread. Now, there was a funny, I don't know if you know Stephen Barton from Eustis. He's like, it's only a sandwich if you cut the hot dog in half and put it between 2 pieces of Wonder Bread.
I disagree.
Yeah, I see. I'm with you. It's a vertical sandwich. It's a sandwich, but it's just vertical.
Yeah.
This is good. This is great. So look, Shant, we will not take any more of your time, man. Really appreciate the time you gave us.
This is fun, man. This is great.
Love the conversation. Hey, what better day than start a Friday with a drink?
Absolutely. This is great. This is usually a little bit earlier than on a Friday than I would particularly start, but I appreciate it. I don't have actually much going on after this today, so I appreciate you guys helping me kick off the weekend, and honestly honored to have you guys ask me to be on here and be a part of this. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks, man. Listen, we're honored to have you. And we'll end this with the last question that we ask everyone. You said you didn't have much, but tell us what do you have planned for the rest of the day?
So my wife, the rest of the day, so my wife is actually having a girls' weekend with all her college friends this weekend. So
Nice.
I'm playing, super dad this weekend. I got all three of my daughters all by myself. Although I'm probably going to call my mom in for some help.
Yep.
But yeah, I got nothing but family stuff. I got three little kids that I got to kind of hold the fort down with for the next 36 hours.
Dude, well, go enjoy being with your girls and being super
Cheers.
dad. We enjoyed this very much. Shant, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. This is awesome.